Alright, so what I've decided to do here is do kind of a little, I don't know, just revealing some stuff that I've gotten over the past couple of days, weeks, months, whatever the case. You know, some people do a lot of these like haul videos, and other people have asked me if I should start doing stuff like this, and I'm like, well, if people want to watch it, I'll start doing it. So, never mind this. This is just a cup of coffee. That's mine. First thing on our list today, some wrestling stuff. Matter of fact, we got a lot of wrestling stuff to go over today, so, you know, hold on to your title belts. Sorry, that was lame. Here we got Tyler Breeze. This is the Then Now Forever Elite. Don't know anything about this guy. I bought him because when I was at New York Comic Con, my friend Swift said he didn't have one. But by the time I got around to buying him, my dude already had it. So it's like, well, looks like I got it then. So I'm not going to open it. I'm not going to mess with it. I'm thinking this might be some kind of a channel giveaway. We'll see what happens. I don't know. What do you guys think? Somebody want this figure? Maybe we'll get either a contest going, or I don't know. We'll figure something out. Next up, we got the Hart Foundation. These are the Elite, whatever series that was, one of the recent waves. Come with the tag team belts, which is awesome, because the only other tag team belts I have, well, the only other classic tag belts I have came with that Yokozuna figure. So it's nice to have some extra ones. Brett I like, honestly. I didn't think I was going to like this figure as much as I did. The head sculpt, you can see without the sunglasses, is like the smiling... Oh, he looks younger, and I actually like this more than I thought I was going to as far as the head sculpt was. To me, they still haven't made a perfect Bret Hart head sculpt, but I like the hair on this one way more than like the Defining Moments one or any of the other ones they've made. So, I don't know. This one, I can say I'm a fan of this figure. But to me, the highlight of the team is the Anvil figure. It looks just like them. They did a great job with the body proportions, and I don't know. It's nice now that we finally have Jim Neidhart in our Mattel rosters, I guess you could say. They picked a great classic attire for him. Having him come with the belt is great. Having him come with the sunglasses makes him look even cooler, in my opinion. So, yeah, I would recommend, if you're going to get only one of the two of these, I'd go with Jim. But, again, Brett's good, too. And you can't go wrong. Classic tag team belts, hey, who doesn't want those, right? So now let's go ahead and start with what I got today. Those were figures that I got a while ago, so I just figured I'd show them, give them a little bit of love on camera. Moving on. Today, we'll start with Lex Luger, the Narcissist. I never gave one single crap about Lex Luger, and the fact that I bought this figure today is all the fault of OSW Review, who have made me realize the error of my ways and come to appreciate Lex Luger for all of his general wrestling ineptitude, for his shouty selling, for his biddly guitar music, just all of it. So, as I mentioned, I didn't care about Lex Luger, so I skipped the first figure altogether with the American flag gear on. So when I saw this one, I was like, I need to correct my mistakes. So here goes Lex out of package. The first thing I noticed when I opened him up is that he's got some paint missing right here on his belt, so just be aware of that when you're looking for this. I don't know if it's because of the way it was packaged or because of the soft plastic they used for his little loincloth thing, whatever you want to call it. First thoughts on this figure. First thing I could think of was Dolph Lundgren in Masters of the Universe, because he's got his sweet feathery mullet. He's like big ripped guy, and he looks kind of like I don't know, like an old school type warrior with this friggin' loincloth thing and his little, I don't even know what you would call these, like tassel deals on his boots. But yeah, my first impressions of the figure are, it is nice. They were able to pull off a nice paint job on the hair, so it really accents his sweet 90s hairstyle. Are these new arms on this figure? I can't tell, because I know recently some of the new figures have come out with different arms than like we're used to previously, and I think the elbow joint looks a little different on this, so I don't know, somebody can fill me in on that. But yeah, it's a good figure. Comes with this little like cloak thing too for his entrance, so you can have him walk out and you know, look like he's doing so in style. Pretty good paint on this thing too. It's just like a soft rubber, so you will be able to like move the figure around in there and not be hindered too much by the, you can see right there, not be hindered too much by the cape. Let's see, the only other thing I could think of about this figure is that I wish I hadn't thrown out my little shaving mirror, because I got one of those travel kits a while back and it comes with like a 4-inch mirror. So if you had some like figures of just some women, you could set up the little shaving mirrors around them and have them be like fully appreciating himself, tanning and whatnot. But yeah, screw you, OSW Review, for making me spend money on Lex Luger, but thank you for making me appreciate the man. So, good figure. I'd say pick it up if you want, if you missed the first one especially, like I did. Moving on to the second figure I got today, Seth Rollins. This is the, obviously the white attire version comes with the world title there. Pretty cool stuff. I picked this up because Seth Rollins is my boy, and I gotta support his newest release. I like the smiling head sculpt he has, and like the the belt is nice to have as an inclusion there too. Let's get him open, see how he looks. So here's Seth at a package. I gotta say, like, I'm really impressed by the white paint job. It's very simple, very straightforward to the point. The gold trim really looks nice. The one thing that I have a little bit of, like, not really an issue, but just something I was kind of thrown off by, is the gold lines on his, like, armor, whatever you want to call it. It kind of, like, it's molded a certain way, and then the gold lines are just painted in a completely arbitrary, like, totally different looking fashion than the actual sculpt is. I think they just reused this because there was a different Seth Rollins that had this entrance thing before, and they just painted it to be the way it's supposed to be, as opposed to molding a new one with like this kind of sculpt in it. So I don't know, whatever the case. Also, I'm having a hard time getting mine to close in the back, which is not a huge deal to me because A, I'm gonna, it's in the back, so you won't even see it, and B, I'm probably just gonna take this off anyway, so it's whatever to me. So here he is once you get the armor thing off, and I really like this head sculpt. Captures his like cocky, smarmy attitude. I think it's great, personally. He does have his tattoo on his back too, so like once you get this thing off, like they didn't skimp out on the detail for you. So gotta hand it to him. They made a really nice figure. I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with it. And the belt, it's the one with the plates in it, which is different than the last Seth Rollins that I got, which was the Seth cashes in one, where it's like all one solid piece and they just painted it on. So I already have this title belt technically, but it's nice to have a different version of it with the plates on it. All things said, all things done, all things considered, this is a great figure, but personally I think I still prefer the Seth cashes in version, mostly just because, I don't know, to me Seth Rollins in black, it kind of, I don't know, connects with me in my mind a little bit more than Seth Rollins in white. But that said, if you do want a little alternate attire, a Player 2 version of Seth Rollins, if you will, go for this figure, because it is really nice, well articulated. I can't get his belt to stay on camera. There it goes on the floor. And now I'm going to stand him back there by Brett, and Brett's going to complain about feeling unsafe. Just kidding, I love you, Brett. And last, but certainly not least, this is the figure I was looking forward to most out of this set. Lord Steven Regal, a.k.a. William Regal, for those of you who only knew him from WWE. This is a figure that I've been waiting for a long time. I never got a Mattel Regal figure. And the fact that they made kind of a throwback old school one, hey, who can be upset? So let's pop them open. Let's take a look. All right, so here's Regal out of package. He's got the entrance robe thing again, but it's that like kind of hard rubber that you can't really move him around in. So I'm not a fan of that kind of stuff, honestly. Anybody that's followed my videos for a while knows that. The detail on it is nice, so if you're just going to like stand him on a shelf and have him looking like this, then that's fine. So here he is with his entrance attire off. Got the tattoo, nice touch. The head sculpt is great. It's got that evil like scowl frown thing he always used to do. First thing I noticed about mine, it looks like they put his lower legs on backwards. Like they just switched them. Come on, Mattel. You're better than that. Making me spend money and then have to fix the figure myself. That's bullshit. Alright, so there we go. I fixed his legs. They're a lot straighter now. Turns out it wasn't the whole lower legs that was backwards, it was just the two knees were swapped. So basically everything above the knee had to come apart, be pulled apart, and put back together with the right corresponding knee. It was a pain, but it's done. This will bring me to a question that I'll pose later on in the end of this video. But for now, let's continue talking about Regal here. Now, Steven Regal, a.k.a. William Regal, a.k.a. Lord Steven Regal, as this figure is, it's a representation of how he looked in WCW. But this could very easily also pass for a WWE like Attitude Era William Regal from like 2000 or 2001, whenever he was around in this. He had like the same color trunks and boots and everything there too. So I'm not holding my breath on that real man's man, Steven Regal. Don't think we'll be seeing that. Although if we did, I'd buy it. They could just as easily also put this head onto like a suited body and make a Commissioner Regal from that time, from when he was like going around with Tajiri doing all kinds of like funny backstage stuff. But yeah, bought this figure because Regal's awesome. Everybody should have a Regal, whether you like Steven Regal or William Regal, depending on what you want to call him. You're not going to go wrong. But yeah, so overall, I think this is the highlight of my 3 figures that I purchased today. I like Lex, I like Seth, but Regal is a guy that I've always been a fan of, so I'm finally getting this figure for the first time in my Elite collection. I'm happy, even though I had to do all this construction. And so that's what brings me to my next question. Do you think that Mattel's quality control has been slipping steadily? Because I've kind of noticed, like, the past couple of figures I've had to buy, I've had to either, like, warm the joints and move them around a little bit, or I've had to, like, do, I don't know, minor, like, repairs, whether it's either, like, little bits of touch-up paint, or, in this case, like, freaking switch his whole legs around. I don't know. Leave me a comment. Let me know what you think, because I think I've noticed kind of a steady, like, gradual decline in Mattel's QC, and honestly, I don't know why. I mean, the Mattel, like, Elite line and Defining Moments and stuff have always been pretty good up until, I want to say, maybe the past year. I've noticed, like, a lot of stuff that's either, I don't know, it looks like the paint is either unfinished or something about the way the figure is put together. It just feels like maybe it's a little cheaper, like worse quality plastic. I don't know. I noticed it in particular with that Brett back there. Like, I was comparing him to the ringside one that I have, the all pink one, and just something about the ringside one just seemed like it was a better put together figure, in spite of this one being newer and in theory should have, I don't know, been better assembled, because it's, you know, Mattel's had however many years of practice since then. So I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Hope you liked this video. If you did, I'll make more. I mean, I'll show off other stuff I get. It's not always going to be WWE stuff, but I'll, you know, share whatever figures I got either in stores or stuff I got in the mail, whatever the case. Anyway, this has been Captain McKay. I'll catch you on the next one.
That's crispy.